Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And you like CDs? Well, you can CDs mostly if you look at my report cards from middle school. I know I already did that one, but cut me some slack. I'm tired. But do me a favor and hit that like button, or you're going to smell funny for a couple of hours. And we all know what this is. So, of course, this is the Ozark Trail Dropout, Wug Out, Ozark Grail, whatever you want to call it. This might be one of the most divisive things that I have seen in a long time in the knife community. And this thing's been a ride. All right, I have tested these to exhaustion to the point where I kind of don't want to handle any more of them, even though I got one more to test. They have been a wild, wild ride. And like one of the biggest things that I've seen is like one. There are two things. One, these things they get harder than a mix of Quikrete and Viagra to find. They will all vanish, get snapped up by resellers and thrown on eBay, and people pay $35-40 for them for God knows what reason. And the quality control. The quality control is an absolute mess. All right, so you get ones like this, where it is an absolute performer. The performance and edge retention on this thing is absolute insanity. I've never seen something like this out of D2. And then you get ones like the black one I tested. And, the edge retention on that one was worse than diarrhea in a latex gimp suit on a hot day. All right, not a single molecule of hardened steel in that blade at all. And, like we love finding stuff like this around here. We love finding the budget stuff and the stuff that's like surprisingly cheap for what you get. Like stuff like that. We love finding these things. Since this thing has come out, I've had my eyes peeled for the next thing. Someone's going to come along. They're going to make something that's going to be as good as this or better, with better quality control and more consistency for $10. Natural progression of things. So I've been looking out for the next thing that comes up in that price range that has like D2 and stuff like that. And to that end, Flissa. So let's take a look at what we're holding, because it'll bother you if I don't, and you know I love you. So, first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We have got black G10 right here. We've got a flipper tab. Let's flick the bean. And we have got 3.35 inches of D2 steel. Now, this is $13 on Amazon. That is regular price. It's not on sale. The regular price is $13. That's $3 more than the Ozark Trail, but they do sell other D2 knives for $10. Those have tip down pocket clips, which I hate tip down, but we all live in sin. So if the D2 on this does well, I'll probably get one of the tip downs for $10 just to see if it does the same thing. And if it does, we got something that can take this thing down. I don't mind spending the extra $3 to get what I prefer to carry. The tip-up pocket clip, that's just my personal preference. I know there's a lot of jokes thrown around about it and some vitriol. I infinitely prefer tip-up carry. I don't really enjoy carrying tip-down. But, we have been looking out for stuff like this, and they're advertising it on Amazon as 60 to 62 HRC. If this is hitting those numbers, I am going to be pumped, because that means we're getting a good, solid cardboard slayer run out of this, and if we do get a really good cardboard slayer run out of it, I am going to be delighted. We're going to carry it this week. We're going to see how it does. I am really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to cardboard slayer on this, because, again, like $13 for D2 and G10, like they are spoiling us on this. The only real thing that stands out is, one, the back of the spine. It's not really crowned over at all, which may or may not be uncomfortable going in the pocket around it. I don't know yet. And the pocket clip isn't the deepest carry. Like, it feels like a plenty strong pocket clip. Like, that is a good, solid grab on that pocket clip. Great retention. The centering on the blade is pretty well spot on. I think I see the slightest lean to the left right here, and I mean, it is very slight. It is on bearings. And you can kind of hear the bearings a little bit. The bearings aren't necessarily the best in the world, but neither are these. I'm liking what I see so far as just a basic, solid, abuse and abandon knife. Like a solid beater knife is what we're looking at here all day, every day. If that edge retention's good, oh my God, I'm going to be so delighted to find something like this. And I saw it posted on Reddit, someone throwing up possible alternatives to this thing because they hate seeing this thing, and you kind of can't blame them with how prevalent they become, even though I love the Gen 1s that I got. I love these, but God, I hate where the quality went so much. So I'm really, really hoping this does good. I'm hoping Cardboard Slayer goes well, but You know, we're going to find out what's what. We're going to carry it for a week and see how general quality of life is. It should be okay. I don't see anything really untoward that's really going to be a major issue. Certainly not any more than other knives have been. Everything looks pretty good here. Let's take a look at our factory edge and see how that's doing. That is probably going to be in the 300s. I don't know whether or not I did an edge, or I don't know if I did an edge quality test, sharpness test on it when I got it out of the box. I have completely forgotten now. My brain, no brain good. But if you haven't seen this before, it measures the number of grams of force it takes to cut through the wire on this calibrated test clip. The lower the number, the better. And you guys provided this for the channel through Super Chat donations and channel memberships. So thank you so much for that. I will always be grateful. 363. All right, so that is rough for a factory edge. That is rough for a factory edge. I'm going to guess right now. It's going to do most tasks reasonably well. There may be the slightest trace of a burr. The slightest trace of a burr on there. I'm not sure. Give me 1 second. I got an idea. I've got an idea, you guys. Don't leave me. Don't leave me like your mom did. No, don't leave. Don't leave. So I'm thinking there might be the slightest trace of a burr on here. So we're going to strop this real good, and we're going to see what's what with that. Maybe it just needs to be stropped if there's a little bit of burr left. Yeah, where did they go? I had more test clips. They're right here. Okay, good, good. So this is the diamond emulsion by Cutting Lacey EDC. We got a 363 right here. I'm going to write that down so we can compare. These have been recently charged on the last knife that I stropped, so they should be good. So right now what I'm doing is just pulling this along. And then I'll run it back and forth a few times to make sure any micro burr that came up is broken loose. And then we'll clean the edge off to make sure we're not doing cross-contamination on the grits. Like, I don't want 9 micron buried in my 5 micron, but now we're down to 5 micron. You know, and normally I don't do this for a knife that I'm about to carry. However, for 13 bucks, if the edge needs to be stropped a little bit out of the box, I'm not going to be too mad. But I do want to see if there's a trace of burr. And of course, you know, we're dragging it back and forth here. We'll make some light passes just to make sure we have got the any micro burr knocked off. Now we're going down to 1 micron. The microns are getting finer and finer as we go. And at 60 to 62 HRC, if that's true, what they're advertising is true, this should respond really well to a basic stropping, especially if there's like a tiny trace of burr left on there. Oh man, because I know someone in the comments whenever I unboxed this thing said that they got one of them and the edge was a lot better than mine. So I am curious about that. You know, and the QC on the edge grind, the factory edge, that's not a massive deal breaker. You can always fix that. You can always fix a factory edge being a little shaky and not the best. However, the heat treatment, you can't really fix that. Not after the fact. Now we're down to 0.1 micron. We're getting into ultra-fine stuff right here, and I'm just doing this because I can. You know, I love this diamond emulsion, and sometimes with an edge like this, it helps. Sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, we've got fresh emulsion on here, and I did want to show you kind of what happens with these strops whenever we do this. So the edge is way, way shinier now. You can kind of see how much more reflective that is. Let's get a fresh piece of paper out in here. That's a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better, like y'all can hear. Just how loud these cuts are can tell you whether or not you've got a sharp edge. When they're really quiet and easy and low effort, you've got a quite sharp edge. But let's see if the numbers have improved a little bit. How are we doing on our numbers? $331. So yeah, that didn't really do a whole lot. Well, it did. It knocked 30 points off. That knocked 30 points off. That actually did help a good bit. If I spent a lot more time stropping, I could probably get that down a lot finer, but for that to drop 30 points off of just, what was that, about a minute and a half of stropping, that diamond emulsion's good stuff. That diamond emulsion's really, really good stuff. I like it quite a bit. I am going to link off to that in the description, and that is not an affiliate link. I don't get paid for it. I just like supporting a friend of a channel and a small business. But yeah, we're going to carry this thing. We're going to see how it do. Now, my suspicions are when we do Cardboard Slayer, we're going to have to stop pretty quickly and sharpen it because that 336 that we have now, 336, that is going to just cut catastrophically badly very quickly. The edge is already at a high number, and it won't take too much. I'd give it maybe an hour, hour and a half before we got to sharpen it. Once we sharpen it, however, that's going to be where we shake the truth out of this thing. So I can't think of a lot else to cover. That was a bit longer of a video than usual, a little bit different than we normally do it, but, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what this thing does, and I'm looking forward to seeing how good the D2 actually is. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so, so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We've got our regular videos. We got live streams. There's plenty of activities. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this, and do we have a potential Ozark Grail killer? A potential dropout killer? You know, like, those names are so interchangeable. I've gotten so used to seeing so many. But, and I will link off to Cutting Lacey EDC's Diamond Emulsion if you want to step your stropping game up. But all that being said, y'all have a nice day.